This is a live Channels Television event.
All right, as we do the Itsekiri national anthem.
Ara lóríire, olóríire afọmásì olúromi o, ọ̀wẹ̀ nógie. Ara lóríire, olóríire afọmásì olúromi o, ìbàbọ̀gie. Ìràwọ̀ gbàgbà mi jẹ́ mo rí gbẹ́ jíwẹ́rẹ́. Ìràwọ̀ èsì gbà mí jẹ́ mo rí wàrà gbòòrò. Ara lóríire, olóríire afọmásì olúromi o, ọ̀wẹ̀ nógie. Ara lóríire, afọmásì olúromi o, ọ̀wẹ̀ nógie. Ìràwọ̀ gbàgbà mi jẹ́ mo rí gbẹ́ jíwẹ́rẹ́. Ìràwọ̀ èsì gbà mí jẹ́ mo rí wàrà gbòòrò. Ara lóríire, olóríire afọmásì olúromi o, ọ̀wẹ̀ nógie. Ogiame Swow.
Okay, and because of time, we're going to go straight. Okay, so no more. Sir A.S. Mene, over to you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, distinguished members of the international community, representatives of civil society, democratic institutions, and concerned Nigerians. Introduction. We address you today on behalf of the Itsekiri ethnic nationality regarding the proposed delineation of wards, polling units, state constituencies, the creation of an additional federal constituency within the Warri federal constituency, and our reaction to media propaganda by a section of the Ijaw and the Urhobos, sponsored by the Ijaw of Gbaramatu. The proposals was released by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Asaba, Delta State, on 20th of May, 2026. From the outset, we stated unequivocally that the Itsekiri people are not opposed to lawful electoral reforms, democratic inclusion, or constitutional compliance. We fully respect the judgment of the Supreme Court in suit number SC 143/2016, which directed INEC to conduct a fresh delineation exercise in Warri South, Warri Southwest, and Warri North local government areas. However, we firmly reject the proposed delineation scheme released by INEC on 20th May 2026 for the reasons given shortly. In our considered view, this exercise violates explicit constitutional provisions, disregards the Electoral Act 2026 as amended, breaches INEC's own operational guidelines, and relies on deeply flawed, disputed fieldwork and GIS mapping process. Reasons why we reject INEC proposal. Our position rests firmly on law, technical facts, and democratic process. The legal framework and INEC's violations. The 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria establishes the strict legal framework for electoral delineation. Furthermore, INEC's operational guidelines mandate that electoral wards must respect proportionality, geographical contiguity, community identity, cultural balance, and establish local government boundaries. The governing statutory authorities are: 1, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, sections 114, subsection 1 and 2. 2, the Electoral Act 2026, as amended, section 40, subsection 1 and 2. 3, INEC's extant guidelines for delineation. Section 114, subsection 1 of the Constitution mandates INEC to review and alter constituencies at intervals of not less than 10 years, following a national population census or state boundary adjustment as provided in section 114, subsection 2. When none of these triggering events has occurred, the sole statutory mechanism available to INEC to implement the Supreme Court judgment is section 40 of the Electoral Act 2026 as amended, which states, and I quote, 40, subsection 1, the Commission shall divide each local government area into registration areas or electoral wards, not being less than 10 and not more than 20, as the circumstance of the local government area may require. Subsection 2, the Commission shall establish adequate numbers of polling units in each registration area or electoral ward and shall allot voters to such polling units. This is a very, very important point, that INEC shall allot voters to each of the polling units and wards. INEC's flagrant disregard for these laws. Technical discrepancies and flawed GIS mapping. Independent geographic, surveying, and cartographic experts have reviewed the data and coordinates released by INEC. Their findings reveal profound irregularities that undermine the technical credibility and legality of the entire exercise. Extraterritorial mapping. Multiple polling units allocated to Warri Southwest, Warri North LGAs are geographically located entirely outside their legally recognized boundaries, stretching into Edo and Ondo State, Etiop local government, and Sapele local government in Delta State. 3, uninhabitable terrain. Several proposed polling units fall directly inside rivers, deep swamps, dense forests, and completely uninhabitable locations. 4, boundary crossings. Certain proposed wards artificially combine polling units across different local government areas, directly violating INEC's core guideline, quote and end quote, that no ward shall fall within more than one local government area. Revelation from independent and impartial expert examination. A specific review of the independent expert report reveals the following data manipulation. 1, Warri Southwest LGA. As I speak, I will urge the press to zoom on the picture on my extreme, the map there. My extreme left is the map of Warri Southwest local government area. The A there, in the legend of the map, on the map there, you see the colors reflecting the polygons of what INEC has done. Those within the Warri Southwest local government area and those that are outside the Warri Southwest local government area. So, Warri Southwest local government area A, total INEC polygons for registration areas 1,798. B, polygons submerged in water 320 right inside water. Polygons sharing duplicate / identical coordinates 477. Polygons located inside LGA boundaries, that's within the Southwest, 1,287. E, polygons located outside LGA boundaries, 510, placed in Burutu, Ugeli South, Udu, and Warri South LGAs that are supposed to be in Warri Southwest. Proposed wards falling completely outside Delta State. 1. Note, these external polygons were systematically credited to Ijaw areas of Warri Southwest to engineer a false demographic superiority over the Itsekiri. 2. Warri North LGA. A, polygons inside LGA boundaries were 609. Polygons outside LGA boundaries were 6. Polygons outside Delta State falling into Ondo and Edo State are 99. Note, unaligned polygons and those falling into rivers, swamps, Ethiop local government area, Southern local government area were simply credited to Ijaw areas to distort actual voter population. Warri South. If you look at the map of Warri South, which is on my extreme right, you will notice that there are clear absence of polygons in the map on my extreme right. That is Warri South, indicating that INEC did not do any field work, substantial field work in Warri South. Despite Warri Urban being one of the largest hubs in Delta State, INEC failed to conduct substantive field work here. Rapidly growing settlements such as Ubeji, Omadino, Ife, Egbokodo Itsekiri, Orugbo, Ode Itsekiri, Magdeomot, Ajigba, Ilorin, Ugbodede, Usele, Ajatiton, and Ifekporo were entirely omitted from INEC fieldwork. INEC fieldwork report, despite their combined population outstripping Baramatu and Ogbijo combined. This area I've just mentioned, the combined population of this area completely outstripped the population of Baramatu and Ogbijo combined. 10. Manipulation of words and fabricated units. The Supreme Court judgment did not declare the existing 2023 voter register invalid. Therefore, discarding verifiable data from the 2023 general election in favor of manufactured mapping undermines public confidence. Delineation must be based on verified registered voter strength, not arbitrary spatial allocations, which is what INEC has done in this field exercise. We observe that INEC has created polling units and wards without valid registered voters. By ignoring its own guidelines on proportionality, INEC has lumped massive clusters of Itsekiri voters into fewer wards, while artificially inflating smaller voting populations elsewhere to yield more wards. What I've done against Itsekiri is to collapse all our wards, all our units together to create fewer wards while expanding the Jaws and the Robos few units to create more wards. For example, 7 polling units were used to create proposed wards in like Buluama and Enwe in Ogbijo in Warri Urban, while 60 polling units each were used to create wards in Orere and Ogborodo in Warri Southwest local government area. What a discrepancy. Because INEC guidelines categorically says that polling units and wards must be proportional, that they must near equal in number. But how does INEC now use 60 units to create one ward in Ogborodo and Orere, while they are using 7 units to create wards in the Ijo and the Urobo areas? It's very sad. Cross LGA lumping. This cross LGA lumping is illegal. INEC's mandate is strictly administrative and operational. It possesses no constitutional power to alter community boundaries, create towns, or assume roles of the National Population Commission or the Boundary Adjustment Commission. 1. In Warri South LGA, INEC proposed 3 new wards. Ward 2, Buluama. Ward 7, Enwe. And Ward 12, Ogbijo, Warri Urban. The names Buluama and Enwe are completely alien to Warri South local government area. Nobody here in this large crowd can point to anywhere in this Warri that can say this is Buluama or this is Enwe. Those names are completely alien to this Warri Urban. Not be so? No. These units were harvested from the Itsekiri populated GRA Ward 5. Specifically, Ward 7, Enwe Ward, features 7 polling units. 5 of these, Urupa, Town Hall, Enwe, Primary School 2, Ewegbene, Town Hall, Ewegbene, Primary School, and Ewegbene Playground belong to Ogbijo Town in Warri Southwest local government area. Not be so? As confirmed by their own codes. Baseline data. Baseline electoral data, 2023 general elections. For the historical records, any lawful delineation exercise must rely on verified voter distribution from the 1923 general elections. 2023 general elections. 1, Warri North LGA. On the table before us, for those of you who have the test, ethno-cultural classification. The Itsekiri wards are in Warri North are Ogeye, Bokoda, Ebrohimi, Egoro, Koko 1 and Koko 2, making 6 wards. Voters registered 75,912. Total polling units 134. Ijo wards, Opuama, Shekelewu, Ogbimbri, and Ogbudubudu, 4 wards. Total voter strength for the 4 wards, 34,480, 58 polling units. Grand total number of wards, 10 wards. So the question is, How can, with this voter strength, Ijos have more than Shekiris in Warri North local government? How can we share 10 wards with Ijos in Warri North local government area? This is the height of injustice. This is the height of unfairness. This is the height of criminality perpetrated by INEC against the Shekiri people. In Warri Southwest LGA baseline, ethnocultural classification, Ijo wards in Warri Southwest are Ogbijo, Isaba, Opraza, Baramatu. 4 wards. Registered voters, 95,042. Polling units, 157 polling units. Shekiri wards, Ugbodo, Akpakpa, Madango, Orere, Ajudaibo, Ogidigbe. 6 wards. Registered voters, 94,074. 175 polling units. How can the judge of Baramatu have 13 wards and you give Shekiri 7 wards with this data? How is that possible? Is this not injustice? Is this fair? Let the whole world hear us. What is bad is bad. What INEC is done is most unfair. Now, historical context and rule of law. We must correct the misleading narrative that other ethnic nationalities within Warri Federal Constituency lack political representation. Historical records show that Ijo and Robo groups hold significant political offices across these 3 LGAs. This dispute is not about opposing coexistence. The Shekiri people remain fully committed to peace and the mutual rights of all Nigerians. However, peace requires respect for judicial precedents. It is ironic, indeed very, very ironic, that groups who have historically disregarded landmark Supreme Court judgments regarding land ownership and their customary tenancy to the Shekiri in the region are today selectively citing judicial authority. We urge all parties to respect the rule of law to maintain regional stability. Nigerians, our brothers in our region, should learn to respect all Supreme Court judgments. They should not be selective in respecting Supreme Court judgments. All Supreme Court judgments are Supreme Court judgments. You cannot disregard one and uphold the other. Not be so. Not be so. However, peace requires respect for judicial precedents. So 18, we note with absolute calm and zero intimidation that threats of violence, economic sabotage, or administrative disruption being issued by this faction of the Ijo and the Robo, sponsored by the Ijo of Baramatu, because of their newly found wealth and importance, courtesy of the federal government leges. It is unfortunate that the Ijo of Baramatu, who are the greatest beneficiaries of the federal government in the Niger Delta, are behind the unjustified attack on the presidency and federal government. Is this fair? No. Is this fair? No. Are they not the greatest beneficiaries? Yeah. We want clearly that 2026 is not the era of 1997 to 2003. We condemn any threats to peace, public infrastructure, or regional stability. We must be mindful of the words of General Ibrahim Babangida when he warned that the drums of war are easy to beat, but their rhythms are difficult to dance. Starting a war or political upheaval comes with the slightest provocation, but ending them becomes inelastic, almost unending with painful footages. A word is enough for the wise. Furthermore, we strongly deprecate the disrespectful and uncouth language recently directed at the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFRO, and the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, CON, during recent hostile press briefings by this section of Ijo and Urobo, who are sponsored by the Ijo of Baramatu. Such actions show a profound disregard for the highest offices of our nation. The fact that the Ijo of Baramatu has sponsored a section of the Ijo and Urobo in a war of attrition that has attracted so much media propaganda that is disproportionate to their real political size and against equity and justice will not make the Itsekiri surrender their political space for these people who were on media rampage. Will we allow that?
No.
Will we accept that? Can they intimidate us?
No way.
Can they intimidate us?
No way.
We are not intimidated. We are not afraid of anybody. While we commend the leadership of INEC for its visionary proposal to create 2 additional state constituencies and 1 federal constituency from the Warri Federal Constituency, the implementation must be flawless and lawful. Our demands. The Itsekiri people will continue to pursue their constitutional rights through peaceful, civilized, and lawful means. 1, we demand that, based on electoral voters' baseline data from the 2023 general election, each of the 6 Itsekiri wards in Warri North and Warri Southwest should be multiplied by 2, as well as the Ijo 4 wards. This will now give the following fair, equitable resolution for the whole exercise. A, Warri North LGA, Itsekiri 12 wards, Ijo 8 wards. Not be so? B, Warri Southwest LGA, Itsekiri 12 wards, Ijo 8 wards. Not be so? And indeed, when Warri Southwest and Warri North were created originally, Itsekiri had 3 wards, Ijos had 2 wards in Warri North and in Warri Southwest. Now, they just multiplied by 2 to create 6 for Itsekiri, 4 for Ijo in Warri North and Warri Southwest. And it was fair. And that's what is on till now. Now, because they have found new wealth, they want to make Itsekiris their slaves. Will we accept this? No. Are we going to accept this? No. This is an irreducible minimum position. 2, we support the creation of additional state constituencies for Warri North and Warri Southwest LGAs. 3, we also support the creation of additional federal constituency from the present Warri Federal Constituency. 4, the federal government of Nigeria to immediately investigate the technical execution and conduct of this delineation exercise. It is an embarrassment to the nation. The international community is watching. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to suspend reliance on disputed field work and flawed GIS mapping data pending an independent, transparent technical verification. Security and oversight institutions federal government to closely monitor the process, ensuring transparency, accountability, and total compliance with constitutional order. All stakeholders to ensure inflammatory rhetorics and pursue peaceful, lawful, democratic engagement. Our demand is simple. Itsekiri demand is simple. Equity, justice, fairness, and constitutional compliance. Thank you,
Thank you
and
very
God
much.
bless you, the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll move straight to Mr. Alex Hero now. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah. And,
Okay, we're going to roll this very quickly. The rest part of this event, this news conference. We will call on Comrade Alex Enyewo to speak to some issues in the Warri Southwest area. But I want to commend Sir A.S. Mene for a very brilliant presentation. You can see we are Itsekiri people. We don't threaten nobody. And nobody is going to threaten us. We don't pass that stage since. So anybody who thinks that they have found new wealth and can use it to enter Abuja and be trying to do all this nonsense they are doing, they're just wasting their time. And this is why the federal government, INEC especially, and the office of the NSA must be very watchful and watch their steps. Because all these things that are going on, we are watching and the international community is watching. Nobody is going to put a gun to our head anymore and take our things away. We go agree.
Thank you. Thank you.
That time don't pass. Comrade Alex, please.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ogumala. My name is Alex Enyewo. After I speak, our brother, Chief Robinson Ariyo, will speak particularly to the legalese of the issues, and then others here will also wade in. Like I said, I'm Alex Enyewo. Paternally, I am Itsekiri and Baramatu Ijo, 50-50%. Maternally, I'm 75% Itsekiri, a direct descendant of Olumu. Maternally, and then 25% Urobo from Agbaro, Akatuba family. So I have locus to speak on this matter because this is a struggle between Itsekiri, Ijo, and Urobo. And I cut across these three ethnic groups. Therefore, I speak from the point of truth, equity, justice, and fair play. The lead presentation by Sir A.S. Mene has dealt with most of the issues. That's their antics. Insult the president, insult the wife of the president, call the president all manner of unprintable names. Okay, that's fine. In the same breath, they say, oh, the president is our in-law, is Delta State in-law. I want to put on record that the Ijos, particularly Ijos of Baramatu, did not vote for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2023. The records are there on INEC website. The Ijos split their votes between Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi. They did not put President Bola Ahmed Tinubu into consideration, while the Itsekiri voted massively for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. As a matter of fact, they just did everything, tried to compromise INEC to get them to cancel some results in some words in Ugbodo. Words like Apapa, Ajoibo, they cancel it, all to deplete the Itsekiri support for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Despite all this, and it is ironic, Ijos, particularly Ijos of Baramatu, are the greatest beneficiary of the presidency of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in terms of appointment and everything. And I will just give you some names. Dennis Otuaro today is a special advisor on amnesty to the president. And his office is domiciled inside the office of the National Security Advisor, Malam Nur Ribadu. And he's using that office to undermine the interests of the Itsekiri people and leak sensitive security information to his Ijaw kith and kin. That is what he's using that office to do. Matthew Tola, who is the owner of Maton Nigeria Limited, his younger brother is there in NUPRC, holding a strategic position, a very strategic position. Chief Benekama, who is always shouting up and down, has recently been appointed into MPA. I don't want to mention some other strategic positions they hold. So they are great beneficiaries of this government. They are today using their surveillance contract and the ongoing sophisticated oil bunkering that is still going on, despite this show-face surveillance contract that they are doing, arresting some small players. They do their big bunkering on the IC, where they give directly. And this is under the leadership of the owner of Tantita, who is my younger brother, Government Ekpemupolo, popularly known as Tompolo. They are still doing all of this, all to change the Itsekiri in their homeland of Warri South, Warri North, and Warri Southwest. I have said it before, Ijaws in Warri Southwest and Warri North, they are minority. Urobos in Warri South are micro-minority. The 3 Warri local governments is the homeland of the Itsekiri. The homeland of Ijaw is in Patani Burutu Bomadi. The homeland of Urobo is in their 8th local government. Even though we have Itsekiri who are indigenous in those 8 local governments. Itsekiris are in Sapele. Ukpoloposo in Uwe is bigger than about 10 Urobo communities put together. But we don't make issues there. We don't make problems there. But in our own Warri, our homeland, Anioma people have their own homeland in their 9 local government areas. Isokos have their homeland in their 2 local government areas. So Itsekiri will just fall from heaven. We don't have homeland. So it is our own thing, like the biblical, baby in the Bible, that they should share into 3. That is not going to happen. We know what they do. They use a lot of scare tactics. They scare you that they are going to, no election will not hold until the proposal of INEC is made permanent. Get it from me. Get it from the Itsekiri. That proposal is dead on arrival. Dead on arrival. The real proposal is what we have just said here. In Warri Southwest, it has to be 12 wards for Itsekiri, 8 for Ijaw. In Warri North, 12 wards for Itsekiri, 8 for Ijaw. In Warri South, there is no Ijaw in Warri South. Forget all this. They don't have, that's an inch of community. Forget all this place they are occupying illegally, Mila, and all of those places. It's just a matter of time. They will be kicked out from that place. Ijaws are not in Warri South local government. Itsekiri and Urobos are in Warri South, and Urobos in Warri South are micro-minority. So fear not. Fear not. And let me come back to, because I talk of scare tactics, and I'm happy the lead presentation talked about legality. You know, because I'm Itsekiri and Ijaw, I'm from Katu. I'm from Ijala. Katu and Ijala is Itsekiri land. Katu is owned by Omadino. Ijala is owned by Ugborodo community. That is a statement of fact, and we are not going to renege on that. They can use all these scare tactics and all of that. I can only remind them that they should be reminded of Warri crisis, which they planned and executed, thinking that it was a pogrom against the Itsekiri people, all the Itsekiri people will die. But we are still here today. We are still here today. They should be reminded, if they cross the Itsekiri lines this time around, it's going to be, when they had the entire Ijaw worldwide executed the Warri crisis, Ijaw worldwide, and other mercenaries like Asari Dokubo, Boilov, Shoot at Sight, Bomojomo, we crushed them. Is it now that we Tuesday, I beg. Now we go fear.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Finally, I want to appeal to Mr. President. And this is very important. Because I want to appeal to Mr. President to direct the security agencies to withdraw immediately the police, the DSS, the army attached to Tompolo and Matthew Tola. They should withdraw them. That is what they use to intimidate the Itsekiri people and other people. They are civilians. Why should they? After all, there is an announcement, there is a policy that has withdrawn police from VIPs. They are still going about with DSS, with army, and with police. This should be withdrawn from Tompolo and Matthew Tola. Ajamukia.
Yeah, it is now time for Chief Barrister Robinson Areyo, the walking encyclopedia.
Ogumalasa. Itsekiri de mokian.
Energy.
Ene dokwe borishe. Ene dokwe bogiame. Ene dokwe bojeyoro dede. Ene dokwe baja dede. Aja dede mokian. I am fortunate to be a philosophy student and a lawyer. And because of that, I draw from both disciplines to express my thoughts. The Itsekiri speak of rule of law, and rule of law. It has its origin somewhere. There is a great philosopher called Thomas Hobbes. He analyzed how we came from lawlessness to the rule of law. We were unhappy in the state of lawlessness as humanity and decided to embrace the rule of law. He called the state of lawlessness the state of nature, where life, according to him, was short, brutish, and nasty. We were saturated with that kind of life. A life where somebody wakes up and makes the kind of verbose boasts that some of our neighbors make. That is lawlessness. And consistently, Itsekiri has always been talking about the rule of law. Because the rule of law is preferable to the rule of lawlessness. At the end of the day, you will be destroying the very fabric of our national existence if you kowtow to threats and intimidation. There has to be a sustainable barometer with which you arrive at any decision that you want to take. We are here today. We forget that the headquarters of Warri Southwest is Ogidigben. They have not said that because we have a president, we have moved it. They have not said so. We keep quiet as if it is Ogbijo. Up till date, the legal instrument creating all the local government council areas has Ogidigbe as the headquarters of Warri Southwest. It is there. I am using this to stress the degree of oppression that we are passing through legally. The place they call Boluama, 24 years before I was born, was a dispute in court. And the judge lost. Subsequently, they were barred from laying any claim to that place. In fact, they were barred from laying any claim to Warri Urban. They wanted to relitigate. They came up again very recently, secretly too, because they have learned a tactics. They will go to court without putting us on notice. I have my problem with the Supreme Court judgment. Even though we are accepting it, at the appropriate time, we will visit it. You cannot decide my fate behind me. Many people don't know that neither the Urhobos nor the Itsekiris were parties to that Supreme Court judgment. That Supreme Court judgment has only one plaintiff. It was brought for and on behalf of the Ijaws of Warri. The Urhobos who are jumping at it now never knew of it. And as at the time the Supreme Court judgment was entered, indeed, the case that led to the Supreme Court judgment was instead in 2011. At that time, we had a judgment that was delivered in 2003, nullifying the word structure we are using in Warri South till date. The proper word structure in Warri South is 8 for Itsekiris and 2 for the Urhobos. What was done in 1996 was declared in 2003 as unconstitutional, illegal, null, and void, and was set aside. And that is almost 30 years ago. We were the judgment creditor, and INEC was the judgment debtor when INEC secretly went to court with the judge without our knowing in 2011. And gradually they went until they got to the Supreme Court. Because some of you will ask, where were we when the judge got judgment? They hid and did it. And as of today, they have hidden and done more than 20 cases. But we have become more watchful. Only last 2 weeks, 7 judgments were delivered, which they secretly went to institute, but we caught wind of them and joined. Out of these 7, they lost 6. The watchword for every Itsekiri man today is eternal vigilance. We have to be eternally vigilant, watchful, because the kind of calamity that befell us under the secret institution of what became the Supreme Court judgment they are brandishing today should never happen again. We should open our eyes. Because litigation is not a hide and seek game. You must put your cards on the table. Is it Okere Gigo? Supreme Court. Just like the lead speaker said, we should not pick and choose which Supreme Court judgment to obey. A Supreme Court judgment is a Supreme Court judgment. So, for me as a lawyer, I view this whole process from very strong legal perspective. Let me add that Section 115 of the 1999 Constitution, as amended, does not even allow a lot of what is happening now. Before you can operationalize a delineation you have done, you need to take that your report. First of all, finalize that report. We have not even finalized the report. After finalizing it, you need to take it to the National Assembly. Shall for it to approve. And you will wait until the expiration of the life of the current state assembly before you can give it effect. I therefore urge the relevant authorities to take note that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is nothing to be toyed with. Any decision you make, law that you enact that is inconsistent with any provision of the Constitution shall, to the extent of its inconsistency, be null and void. I don't want to take too much of our time, but I believe that where we are today, there is no press conference that will end all press conferences. We shall continue to have press conferences. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you very much, Chief Barrister Lawyer Robinson Ariyo. We appreciate you, and we look forward to the day that your son will soon be conferred on you. Now, I think we are getting to the end of this program. We have made our point. As I said, we are not noisemakers. We don't come out to be threatening people and say, if I don't get my way, I will kill people, I will go and destroy oil-producing facilities and all of that. We don't do that. We are very, very civilized people. We are Itsekiris. And we don't owe anybody any apology for that. And so we be. We have maintained who we are over the years, centuries of our existence. So they cannot come today and teach us bad behavior and twist us to behave the way they are doing. We cannot get into the mud, into the gutter with them. We don't pass that level. That is who we are. So I want to thank everybody for this very wonderful outing we have had here today. But I also want to reiterate that we leave INEC with our demands. In Warri Southwest, just multiply what we have now by 2 for each group, giving the Ijos 8 and the Itsekiris 12. These are customary tenants. They are tenants to Itsekiris in all of those areas. The former Attorney General of the Federation wrote a memo to the National Assembly over the issue of Okerenkoko and Okerengigo, reminding the National Assembly that that location is owned by Omadilo and is known as Okerengigo. Now they are shouting, Supreme Court judgment, Supreme Court judgment. But when it's not in their favor, they say, oh, it's a stupid judgment. So we can't live like that. We can't live like that. Warri North, the same thing. Multiply by 2. Itsekiri 12, the Ijos 8. That is the only road to peace. No matter how loud, the empty drum, they beat loudest. So maybe they beat, they threaten people. In fact, they have done about 6-10 conferences already. This is the first one we are doing. Because we just thought, at least, let's come out, let the world also hear our voices and put the issues in proper perspective. Otherwise, we are not engaging in any fisticuff with them. Because now white shirt would they wear. They not share our white shirt. So nobody go control mud for our body. The truth is out there in the public domain. If you doubt us, go and do your Supreme Court researches. All the lands in Warri, every inch of land in this Warri, whether Warri South, Warri North, Warri Southwest, have been litigated up to the Supreme Court, even up to the Privy Council in London before independence, and won by the Itsekiris. And most of those cases, now them, they take us go court. We are not the ones who go to court. They will go to court and people struggle. At the end of the day, they will lose. They will appeal. Supreme Court, some of them were even been bad. Don't bring this case back here again. But they're not here. They're still coming to fight us. What kind of people are these? So please, let us live as brothers. You cannot say because you have more children than me in my house, you are now my landlord. No. If you rent my house, the Supreme Court has called you a tenant in that house. You like me, you have 1 million children every year. You remain my tenant. That's how it is. So let's face those things. But we are here to talk about delineation. And we are telling the world, we are telling INEC, Nigerian government, the NSA's office, all these people who are on top of these issues, to be very careful. Don't capitulate. Don't fall under pressure of threat. Because if you use threat as the yardstick for dealing with issues, then you are just going to get more threat from different other places. So let's be civil.
Thank you.
Let's focus on the law and let the rule of law reign. In Warri South, we don't have problem with Urobos. The Urokomagba Urobo people are the ones making noise. And these are people who want just 200 acres of land in Urokomagba layout, which they know. And that victory, the court even said that they had that land, they have that land under the overlordship of the Olu of Warri. It's there in the judgment. So all this noise, I don't understand.
And just
Thank you very much,
thank you.
everyone, for coming.
Okay, I think we still have about 5 minutes. We have 3 speakers more. Please, please help us. Help us. All right? Help us. Help us. Yes, please.
I actually want to commend the lead speaker and the other speakers that have done justice to our demand and our position. But I have something to state emphatically, most especially in Warri South. You see the place they are calling Boloma, Enwe, and Ogbijo Urban. That place is a market. The Ijos, they come there to trade. After trading in the evening, they go back to where they are coming from, their local government. So you don't create a ward in a market. The Hausas in Hausa market, they are not, the Hausa quarter, they are not calling for a ward. Neither the Igbos in Igbo market, they are not calling for a ward. I'm stating it categorically that Ijos, they are not in Warri South. I still want to commend that speaker when the Ijo people did their press conference. What was his name? Belekama, the one that was issuing threat. He stated it now that even though they are just occupiers, they are occupying our land. They don't own this place with us. And I want to state it that from the Itsekiri youth angle, we have never been conquered, we will not be conquered, and we will never agree to be conquered. If they issue threats, we are ready to use the last drop of our blood to defend ourselves, our lives, and our property. They should try it. It happened before. We are ready to give it to them again. Thank you very much.
Nationality Council. Thank you.
We, the Itsekiri women, the problem we are facing here today na woman cause am. Last year, the young woman, Professor Rhoda, she started this fake format INEC delamination. And also another woman come out. Our fathers, they've made all the points known. We don't need to come and be ranting with the Jos and Urobos, the Okere Urobos. We owns the place. We don't need to be coming and be dragging, using fake formats all the time. But that woman that insults our mother, the First Lady of the Federal Republic, that tobacco teeth, that woman will demand immediate arrest. We, the Itsekiri women, we will not take it for granted. Fine. Mr. President is our in-law. I believe the Ijos have ruled this country before. The Itsekiri did not come out and insult the president. We did not call them names. Shows how these Ijos people from Baramatu, how they are using their fake format. Because of the little money they've gotten from the Tatita, they think they will use fake format to collect our land. We will stand to defend our land. And Esther, God gave her victory. We mothers, we have come out. And God will give us victory on every side.
Let's go. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm Comrade Joseph Okotie. We as Itsekiris, we are not known for cowardice. Have you not been so? We have never run into our shell. No man can issue threats and we'll go back home. Never. Whatever you wish for, you will see it in Warri Kingdom. Have you not been so? Let it be known. Take this home. that no one in Warri Kingdom is scared of anybody out there. We will defend our land, our communities, and our heritage today, tomorrow, and eternity. We will not run from our home. Nobody threatens the Itsekiri, and we will stay united and resolute. It is pertinent to note that we will not cede our land to no man. Abi not be so. We stand firm, we stand united. Professor Rhoda Gumus, she is supposed to be behind bars right now. Victor Okumagba, you live in Udu and you come to Warri to threaten us with war. I wonder what will be your hand, but we leave you to God. Let this be known, we not fear anybody. Abi not be so. Ajamokiaga.